Hi, Vivek. Welcome to our podcast, Decoding Destiny. A large part of your schooling was done in a Hindi medium school. From there, you went on to get an All India rank of 139 in GATE exam, completed your master's from IIT Madras in computer science, and your first employer was Microsoft, where you're currently working. This is quite a story. How was your experience of shifting from a Hindi medium school to an English medium school?
Yeah, hello Khushbu, and thank you everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this podcast. Yeah, so shifting, I was studying in a local Hindi medium school that was nearby my home, but my brother suggested we should shift myself to some English medium school. So we preferred like Army Public School. That was the best there. So I used to top. First of all, you talked about the transition. So I was a topper in like the Hindi medium school. So I was the king of my own castle. But when I shifted to Army Public School, this I was not in the bottom 20% of the students, and I was not scoring.
Damn.
Yeah, for the 9 months straight, I cried on daily basis, like what is happening to me. I don't know how to even introduce myself in English. That was the condition. But one thing that was with me, that this maths thing, that was just holding my confidence up because I was scoring consistently high scores. Even I was the topper of maths among all the sections around there. So that was the only thing
Amazing.
that was holding on to my confidence. Otherwise, everything was just I was not scoring well. Yeah, so it was first of all that kind of, and also kind of environment that army school provides, all the
Hmm.
sincerity, all the hard work, all the like focus thing, and the main part is discipline. So that was like quite a hit.
Damn. So, when you were like, I think you were at one of your lowest, when you did the switch. So, how did your school life look like? Was it the same all throughout, or did you do something to make it better?
First of all, when you are when you don't know anything, then you start looking for someone to save you.
Yeah.
So in that case, my I was lucky enough that my teachers were from in army public school. Many of the teachers are like retired from army or the navy or the air force. So I surrender myself to them, like do whatever you want to do because I myself can't handle the situation. And luckily I was in very great hands, and they treated me like their own son. So yeah, I followed them religiously. I never whatever student can put.
So, what exactly did the teacher do to, make you shine bright as you were in your previous school?
So main part in a school in a student, which I was lagging was confidence. Okay,
Hmm.
so which my class teacher so in my seventh class when I joined in that school, so my scores were like around 50 around of 100. But in mathematics only I scored 100 out of 100. So my teacher called me like, why this is like a low score in other subjects and why I was scoring so high in maths. So I told him like this is like something natural to me. So and also like he asked me about my previous school, how are you performing. Then he took it like a personal project kind of thing. Then he started telling whatever that in a class he will make me stand up and he will ask me questions, and you have to speak that in English. So so one advice that one of my teacher back then said, like once you are on a stage or once you are on a public platform and you have this so my hand or the legs used to shiver when I used to speak English, right? So he advised me like follow just one rule: everyone who is looking at you is a fool. They don't know anything. And
That's
once
a very good advice.
yeah, once you have that in, you are going to like I was able to like speak fluently. So that was the one thing that I followed. Apart from that, I used to hear a lot. Apart from reading itself is a good thing, but hear a lot. Hear out the conversation, what your fellow students are doing.
True, true. So, confidence was developed in you at a very early age. Like, usually, when a kid goes to school, they are with the same set of people, the same set of teachers or students and peers. So they don't understand that, oh, they're lacking confidence. It's only when they go in college or a complete new university or a new place is when in those first few months that confidence sort of takes a dip, because it's a complete foreign culture and a foreign environment. But you were subjected to that early on in school itself. So I think that helped with your confidence even in the later parts of your education and life further. So amazing. Thank God you got those amazing professors.
Yeah. One thing to also like, once your environment starts changing, you start learning things. That's why they say na, ki,
Or in school.
when I was in school, so in Hindi medium school, I was like from 1 to 6. There was no as such ambition. I just want to play.
Okay. And between your 7 to 10 standard?
7 to 10 standard, that was the time I was very fascinated about those, because I was living in that environment. Discipline, naam namak nishad, all those rules in army. So I was very fascinated about that. And the higher officials in army, they have this cream color jeep,
Okay.
and they have their ranks mentioned on them, like stars mentioned on them, like 3 stars or 4 stars. So that
Fancy.
fascinated me. Like then I decided, like, then I, in my mind, in a child mind, I thought like I have to become this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you wanted to be an army officer when you were in your school, say
Yeah.
seventh or eighth standard.
Yeah.
So how did that journey from army officer to computer science happen? Like how take us to that thought process.
Okay. So there are many ways of entering into army, right? But the knowledge, the kind of knowledge that we can grab here in the university, or like after school, if you join army, then they have their set of on trainings and all those things. But I always wanted to study was the main thing, like mainly mathematics. I always wanted to learn mathematics. That's what I told my teachers, that I want to learn mathematics anyhow. So they told me like, go for a graduation, go for a post graduation, and after that you can become something in that. But how to apply that thing in army? Because
Hmm.
eventually I wanted to be in army, right? But I
Hmm.
cannot read maths behind. So that's
Yeah.
when they gave me this reality check that even if you are post grad, right? If in army you want to be applying that knowledge. That's when
Hmm.
I took a step back. Okay, if I'm not putting my knowledge into that specific job, because that's a whole that's a whole different kind of job, right? You cannot put your knowledge into it, the bookish knowledge that you gain,
Hmm.
physics, chemistry, and mathematics. That's a whole different kind of job. And I won't say job, it's a service.
Yeah.
That's a whole kind of different service. So I thought like, I won't be perfect. The love for mathematics was greater than the love for art.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
So who actually diverted you towards engineering?
engineering. Actually, my brother was engineer. That I
Okay.
was looking into him.
The
Also,
same brother that advised that you should go to an English medium school.
yeah, my sibling actually.
Okay.
So himself is a, just to mention, he himself is a AIR 2 rank in GATE.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
So but in back school days, he was not like he was just an engineer. So I always looked on him, and my sister was also in IBM. That's when I like thought ki, yeah, this can be an option, but not the option that I will choose. This can be the option, but this is not 100%
Hmm.
sure. So I was not actually
Hmm. Hmm.
sure ki, what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just in after my 10th class, I chose this math just because of mathematics. I didn't choose any other streams just
Right.
because of
Right.
mathematics. Yeah. So when I chose mathematics, basically I got interested into math because the physics into sorry physics. The physics is the real life application of maths. That's how when I got interested into physics. So in physics, major portion is like covered by this circuits and all those things. So I was very interested in playing with circuits.
Hmm.
So that's
Playing
how,
with circuits meaning like you physically had something?
yeah, like experimenting with things like when an electrician come, what is it doing? What is the switch about? How is it? What is the semiconductor thing? When they change this cylinder kind of thing on a fan, what is this thing called? This thing is called capacitor. How does it work? Why are we not just directly plugging the electricity wires into a motor and just get it running? Why
Hmm.
this capacitor is required? Why? why all those things? Why? What is this copper coils? So I was very fascinated about this electricity and all those things.
Oh, so you were a curious kid and you always like whoever came around you, you tried to explore your curiosity and ask a bunch of questions about things and the way it was functioning, etc.
Yeah, yeah, that's what is required, right? That's what is required. The basics. Get into the basics and start
Hmm.
questioning, like why is this happening. At one point of time they used to get annoyed. Ki, electrician used to say, I will charge 100 rupees extra for his gas. So okay, so yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, you have to be an annoying child.
True, true. So, I believe you got into engineering because of your elder siblings, and you didn't have a lot of clarity when you were choosing engineering. So, it was not an informed choice, but your love for math and your curiosity for day-to-day things is what might have felt like a good combination at that moment.
Yeah,
You pursued engineering from not a tier one college or a very recognized university, right? It was probably a tier three or a tier four college. So, how was the experience in that college, and how did you feel? Like, did you prepare for IIT-JEE entrance exam back then?
yeah. I did prepare for IIT-JEE, but again, you don't have that kind of. Since my brother was also he also didn't clear IIT-JEE, so he was not having any. He was not having any advice for me to share. So you
Hmm.
look at the examples and then you start to follow that journey, right? So I didn't have that example at that time. So
Hmm.
my brother didn't do, my any of my known relatives didn't do this IIT-JEE thing, but I shifted. But you have to be the one to start at least. So I thought to become like, yeah, I will take a engineering coaching IIT-JEE. So I appeared in that. I scored very badly because I was having this. I was not consistent enough in my preparation, because I in my school days I used to do whatever the exam be, I will just prepare like 1 month or 2 months before. But IIT-JEE is not something that you prepare 1 month or 2 months before.
True, true. It requires consistent effort.
Consistent
So,
effort,
how was
consistency.
your right? So, how was your experience in the college while pursuing bachelor's in engineering?
In bachelor's, so when I scored badly in my JEE advanced exam, so that was the time, like, yeah, should I take a drop or what? But
Hmm.
then I and at the special and at that time only, now my brother got into IIT Madras.
Oh, so you've had a similar journey as him then.
Yeah, he also entered into IIT Madras. That's what told me, like, yeah, if I pursue my graduation from something college, and if I prepare for it, I can save my 1 year. I can also go there. IIT जाना है ना, वो तो चले जाएंगे. That we can go. So that was the time I decided, like, yeah, I won't take a drop. I will take my engineering discipline. I will, because again, it's the thing na, कि you have to learn on your own. The
Hmm.
ठीक है, institute matters, but it has to be within you, right? So one of my senior was studying in Galgotia's University at that time. So he advised me, कि you come here, I'll take care of anything. Whatever you want to do, gate करना है, gate कर लो. Who is stopping you from that? Academic pressure won't be that much, so you can do that. So then I went there for admission on the very first day, when I was taking admission, filling that admission form, right? So, and first of all, anyone, I should not say this, but yeah, anyone can take admission into that university.
Oh, that's a lot of engineering universities in
Yeah,
India.
that
So,
you don't require
yeah.
any specific qualification or what. But so yeah,
Hmm.
I was filling out my form. So in my mind I was having this electronics and communication, circuits,
Hmm.
electrical engineering.
Yeah,
These
because you are so interested in electricity and all. Yeah.
those two were the things that I was interested in. Then, because again it's a shift now, it's a shift of places. So I thought, like, why not learn a new thing? I in
Hmm.
my 12th class, I never interacted, like, I never had this computer science course. I never wrote a single line of code. I don't know how this computer science works. So I was just curious ki, ठीक है, let's learn this new thing. Let's fill out computer science. And I was so stuck on computer science that this is a new thing and I want to learn. So I just filled out that form that I want to learn computer science and engineering, and that was like the also the default choice of many engineering aspirants, like computer science. Yeah, so that's how I entered into computer science. And
So
like,
where did this motivation of computer science come from? Because you were so interested in circuits.
Mhm.
Did you come across any stories of any relatives or your brother perhaps who, learned some new things or some stories of that which made you feel like, nahi yaar, computer science switch karte? Because that's a big deal at that moment, right?
Mhm. Okay, so I told you, like, one of my cousin sister was working in IBM. So
Yeah.
at that time, this IT was booming.
Hmm.
IT was taking this exponential graph. So she said me like, "Ki, if you want to get paid enough also, and if I also wanted to learn new things, why don't you shift to computer science? Just leave this part on side. Why don't you try this computer science thing?" Then she told me like, "Ki, do you know how a website works?" She just asked me a
Hmm.
simple example. Do you know how a website works? I don't know. So the how does this how does you move your cursor over there? How does it you click on something, then some result comes. How do you know how Google works? That's when she told me like, "Ki, she asked me like, "Ki, go and research on two for 2 3 days. Do this thing. How do you make a website, or how does this Google search work?" So, because we are using Google very heavily. So at that time, I got for 2 3 days straight. I went into that. Like, okay, how does Google work? What is this ranking algorithm? What is this thing? Although, but there is this thing algorithm also. That's when this interest in curiosity again. I was a curious child, and this thing made me more curious. Like, कि I want to know this thing now. कि ये
Hmm. Hmm.
है क्या यार? दिखते तो हैं.
Okay. Did you also, aside from your sister, did you also talk to anybody that was pursuing a profession? No. Okay.
No.
So, it was I think you were in that stage where you were curious about anything and everything, and it was not a very informed choice, but luckily it worked out well for you.
Yeah.
So, awesome. Okay. Thank you for being so honest and candid. I think it's a learning opportunity for everyone. So, during at what time did you start preparing for your gate exam, and what made you want to prepare for gate exam versus take up a job somewhere?
Okay. So as I told you, I've always followed my brothers. Like he also did GATE, so that thing was clear. I have to do GATE, but how to prepare for it, I don't know, because he was from another stream itself.
Hmm.
I was from computer science, so the journey has to be different. So I started preparing in like my for first 2 years. I was like learning computer science by default, learning, and that too from standard books, because the teachers might not be good there. You don't
Yeah.
know, because it's a tier 3 or tier 4 university. But one thing is common across all the universities is the reference book. That's what you have to follow. So my advice for this tier 3 or whatever the tier B, just start reading reference books, because that's what are common in the IITs as well, right? So I was for straight 2 years I was learning from these reference books. Then in third year I started like specifically focusedly, like pinpointed preparing for a gate. Ki this is the syllabus. I have to learn this topic. In the third year itself, I tried. But I gave my attempt in 2019, and that time I was having a job offer from Infosys, and that was every tier 4 college student, like he have this 3.5 lakhs of job offer
Yeah.
from either Wipro, Infosys, or Cognizant. So I was also having that offer. So that was the day of 3rd February when the Infosys joining was also there in Mysuru campus, and that was the day of my gate exam. So I gave my gate exam, and I scored around 50 marks in that after preparing.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was not good enough to join an IIT. But again, this I would call it a teenager ego kind of thing that got hurt. Ki, "Arey yaar, nahi, jana to IIT hai, that's it. I want to be an
Hmm.
IIT." अब तो I was getting into good colleges like Triple IT Bangalore, Delhi, ये सब था. But I always wanted कि I want to go into IIT somehow.
Hmm.
Then I took a
Actually,
drop.
triple IT Bangalore is also pretty good. I think it comes in one of the top 10 for computer
Yeah,
science, right?
it's a very good college. It's a very good college. They have a very great placements, very famous teachers. Let us see Yashwant Kanetkar. I think, yeah, I guess Yashwant Kanetkar is the one of the programming language professor there. So yeah, professors and everything is good, but again, that ego doesn't know na ki this
Yeah.
college is good or bad. Ego knows just one thing, that I want this thing. अभी लेके आओ कैसे भी. So I was कि अभी इतना साल wait किया, like 2 years, in 2 years while preparing for IIT JEE. I failed there. First failure. After that, 4 years into this college, 2 years again preparing for GATE, having that mindset कि एक time पे GATE करना है IIT JEE. 4 years. So that was combined 6 years. 6 years I was waiting for just one thing, and I again failed. That was the second time I failed. Then I decided कि okay, so also I used to think myself as a smart child always. कि smart तो हूँ मैं, but I didn't work hard enough. But I didn't work hard. So that was the time like कि now I have to leave everything. I for just for this 6 months I have to prepare for GATE. That's it.
Hmm.
Then I will look whatever the result be. But this 6 months now I have to put my hard work, smart work, everything, my whole soul into this thing, and let's see what the result is. So you won't believe like कि my GATE exam didn't went well.
Oh,
It didn't went well. That's how well prepared I was at that time. But
amazing.
luckily, I got such a rank that I got admission into like every other university: IIT Bombay, Delhi, Madras, Kanpur, Kharagpur. I had offers from all of those. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So it was your second attempt, and that seriousness that okay, consistent efforts has not been
Hmm.
worked out well. So like you have to put in hard work and effort into that, and 6 months of straight preparation.
Yeah.
That's what led to the All India rank. That's amazing. What were your learnings from IIT Madras? Like often I've heard stories wherein people prepared a lot and got into a great university, but their experience once you go to that university is very different, and the learnings are also it's something else. So what was your journey like?
My journey was started from when a professor scolding me like that you don't know how to read.
Oh,
That
why? Oh, tell us something more about it.
yeah, he asked me to read a research paper. So I was reading it. He tried and then he asked me questions, like the very basic questions. So I read it. I like explained him the things. So he was very upset with that, the kind of explanation that I gave him, because that was all written in the research paper. But research paper is not what is written. It is behind the behind the lines that you have to
Right,
read.
it's majorly the interpretation of what
Yeah,
is
interpretation
written.
of whatever you are reading. It's not the cramming. So whatever we do in this education system now, we are just learning things, learning some fancy keywords around that. Okay. So but it doesn't work in IIT, right? So professor scolded me like, "Ki, I know you don't know how to write, but I didn't know that you don't know how to read." So that's what when it started, like, oops, my whole education journey till now, and he's telling me I don't know how to read. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're again that self confidence. Again, this is a different environment. So the top three learnings that I would share is the question everything. Don't assume, right?
Hmm.
Question everything. Don't assume. Second learning was instead of learning how to build things, start building things. And in the journey itself, you will learn. And that's very
Hmm.
important because when every time you hear like ki IIT students made this, they made a hyperloop, they made a 5G test bed or something. So that's that because they started क्या कहते हैं, into building things first, and eventually they
Hmm.
got to learn like yeah. So you have to start building instead of learning how to build things. That's my second learning. Third learning is कि the magic is not in the IIT. Magic is in within you. They just help you discover it.
Hmm.
Because IIT is not providing you anything, right? They are providing you infrastructure and the environment. That's a bunch. IIT is made by the students.
Yeah.
They are putting all those brilliant students together, and they are again that osmosis thing, right? I learned very much. Instead of professors, I learned from my professors, but more I learned from my fellow students.
Pairs. Yeah.
Yeah, the peer group has to. That's the peer group. That's the student. So even if you don't have magic, they will develop it immediately.
True, true.
Yeah.
Coming to the second point, did you build something when you were in Madras?
Yeah, I was researching into database consistency. I mean, for majority of the audience that won't be understandable, but let me
Yeah.
just give an example. If you are ordering from Flipkart Delhi, and your server is in Delhi, and I am sitting in Flipkart Bombay, suppose, and there is just 1 unit of product left. Okay, so you are ordering it at the same time. I'm ordering it at the same time, right? So you order it first, that communication between that Bombay to Delhi to Bombay server, that has to be communicated. So that will create a
Hmm.
consistency, that there's some conflict kind of thing, right? So we were developing an efficient algorithm. So yeah, till that time I finished my MTech, we for one of the approach I was able to do this consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is it that you currently do if you are to simplify your work at Microsoft for the understanding of the school kids?
I am working in Microsoft Search, so that's not the search that you are probably thinking of. This is not the web search. This is the enterprise search, on which I'm working in.
Okay, so
So
enterprise search meaning it is used by a bunch of people within Microsoft, right? It's not
bunch of
publicly
people,
available.
exactly.
Do you have any tips for our school students to help make an informed choice? If you were to redo your journey, it worked out really well. You love your job and you love what you do. Your journey has been very fascinating and very inspiring. But if you were to redo this and make informed choices, at that moment, maybe instead of the 3 day research, do a little more of research. So,
Mm.
how would you go about making an informed choice of your career in your school or even in your high school?
Okay, if I had to redo my journey, I would have talked to my cousin sister in 10th class only when I was choosing streams.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what and then I will do that 3 day research in that particular time frame, in those three days just before choosing the stream. Then I will definitely pick up a subject of computer science into my curriculum, right? That's the first thing that I will do. Second thing, since I was interested in maths, so that was like an easy choice for me, either commerce or either this science with maths, either non-medical. So that was a clear choice for me. So yeah, I had this elimination option key. I'm not very much interested in numbers, so yeah, that's why I chose this science with maths kind of thing. So yeah, I will talk to a lot of people. That's the very first thing. Again, I will continue doing the same question everything. Don't assume. That's the
Hmm.
second thing. Third, don't listen to relatives. Don't listen to parents. That's the third. They want the best according to them. They want the best for you
Hmm.
according to them, not according to you, right? So you have to tell them what's best according to you, right? So yeah, these are the three things I will probably.
Pursued your master's in computer science from IIT Madras. And what exactly did you major in?
Itself is like a vague thing, like it's a very broad term to that's an umbrella term of computer, it have like the front end technology, it have the back end technologies, it have the quantum technology, and now it have the artificial intelligence chat GPT thing going on, machine learning as well. Yeah, so in my masters I chose my subjects, like I was interested into this chatbot kind of things, how this AI and machine learning kind of things works. So I chose my subjects accordingly. So you can say like I have a major in artificial intelligence and the machine learning, but they don't provide you that degree. You are a
Okay.
specialist. They will give you a degree of computer science and engineering. So once I came into Microsoft, so it's a mix of front end technologies. It's the mix of front end technologies are different, back end technologies are different. Then again, this machine learning and AI kind of things, these things are different. So yeah, computer science itself is a very broad term. And you have to explore everything. Till now, I have explored like the front end, back end, as well as this machine learning, and more.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And at Microsoft, what kind of work are you into? Are you a machine learning engineer or how is it?
actually, in Microsoft, we are developers. They call you
Okay.
a software engineer, but you develop things and whatever it takes. If it takes AI, you are an AI engineer. If it takes backend, you are a backend developer. That's how a computer science engineer should be. You should not
Hmm.
restrict yourself to a technology like I know front end, so I will be focus on front end. You should be a developer. I will develop everything. So till now, I have worked in like front end, I have worked in back end, and in my recent hackathon that happened in Microsoft, I got involved in machine learning.
Okay. And could you simplify front-end engineering and back-end engineering for the schools kids watching this?
Okay, so front-end engineering is how you interact with users, right? The website you make. So there is the search bar. When you open a Google page, there is the search bar. So sorry, I should use the other terms. So when you open a Bing page, I should promote my products. So when you open a Bing page, there is the search bar, right? You go into it, you type something from your keyboard, and then you click on the search bar. Okay, that's a front-end experience. That's a front-end experience. And after that, when the results came, it shows up on your page. So that kind of that alignment, how do you show your results? How do you send like if you are searching who is Khushbu Chopda, right? I have to send that query to backend servers. Then they will respond with their answers, right? So how do you send that query? How do you receive those query? How do you show it? That's the front end thing. Now the backend part. I received your query. Okay, who is Khushbu Chopda now? So I will apply a search algorithm on my database present, right? Those algorithms, how am I interacting with databases? How am I interacting with other technologies? That's a backend thing, right? So front end, back end, these are different things. And yeah,
Right. So if I'm understanding your explanation correctly, everything that has to do with how the page is looking like, that is front end. And the technology that is used to make it look like that is front end engineering. And
mm,
back end engineering is everything you do to ensure that you get the correct result and you get the correct answer. That is, you do that kind of search using the algorithm, so on and so forth. So would this be a correct understanding of front end engineering and back end engineering?
yeah, in a layman language, we can say that.
Indeed. So to sum up your conversation so far about how did you figure it out? How did you figure out that, you know, you were made for computer science, or that this is your journey? It was greatly resultant of the mentors you had in your life, that is your brothers and sisters, and conversations with them. And your the biggest strength that you had was the curiosity. You yourself were curious about a lot of things, and you had that clarity as well, what I'm curious about and what I'm not curious about, right? So there was never a confusion about where to go and what to exactly do. So that worked out really well for you. And your advice to the younger generation would be to use the process of elimination in knowing what do you want to do. It's also important to know what not to do so that you can easily figure out, or comparatively helps you draw a path to figure out what to do. And for the parents to not put a lot of pressure on the child. Think conversations with people that are 5-10 years ahead of you always helps in figuring out what you want and getting a clarity of
Mm,
where you see yourself. So that's a good advice. Thank you so much for your time and advice, Vivek.
yeah. Thank you, Khushbu.